Okay, everyone, welcome to our call. If anyone has just joined us, before you had an opportunity to state your name, where you're calling from, please go ahead and do that really quick before I get started. So let me go ahead and get this call started. So I want to welcome everyone to the call tonight. My name is Antonio Freeman, founder of the Cash to Assets Club and EVP Gold with MyEcon. Some of you may have been invited. Someone had brought you or asked you to join on this call today. Maybe you had told them that you were interested in our income shifting strategy, or that you were looking to create an additional $200 to $500, maybe even more, on your paycheck. And you may have asked, hey, well, how in the world can you do that? You say, well, look, we follow this strategy called income shifting, and it is a wonderful opportunity that it has allowed us to bring more income back into our check. And it has helped me create a different level of financial understanding and financial wealth with my family, or for me as my individual household. So let me, before I get started, I'm going to tell you guys just a little bit about my story and how I found this opportunity and why someone felt that it was important for you to join the call as well. So Chris and I actually moved to Vegas a little over 6 years ago, and I've been involved in the MyEcon opportunity for about 24 months. And inside of that time, I have literally changed the landscape of my financial situation. So let me tell you how we actually did that and why we saw that this was important to us for something else that we needed to do. So a couple of years back, we actually, between the two of us, had about 3 jobs. We had 2 full-time jobs and a part-time job. And like many of you that are on the call, you probably thought that, that was the best way to do things, because that's probably how you were taught to live and to create wealth. If you go to school, you go to work, you graduate, you get a degree, and then you get a job in that particular field. So many of us have heard of that philosophy, and many of us have actually tried to do that philosophy. But the problem is, when we do that in our economic times today, it is not proper to create wealth for ourselves, and we find it very difficult to actually survive in the actual field that we're involved in. So we were doing the same thing, just like many people, and maybe some of you that are on the call. We had worked 3 jobs. We had 3 jobs between the both of us. We were never home. We never really saw our son that much, because we never really see each other, because we were going from one stream of the day and then all the way to the other stream of the night. So we'd run off in shifts, and I'm sure some of you guys can relate to that. So when I come off of work, then she had to go to work, and when she came home, I had to go to work. So it was a back and forth that was terrible. So the thing that we had realized was, like, look, we had gotten tired of just consistently going over the same information time and time after again. So what we figured out is, we actually got a phone call from someone out of California, and they asked me one day, how am I doing? And I said, how things are? I said, you know what? Things could be better, but right now I'm just struggling, surviving. I'm doing the best I can. And he said, I want you to take a look at this video that I'm going to send you, and I'm going to call you back, and I want you to give me your feedback on what you thought about it. So I said, of course. See, I was looking for an opportunity at the time, like many of you are. So when I clicked on that link, I saw a video that it literally changed my life. And here's what I mean, because when I clicked on that video, I saw people standing up, and they were speaking at a podium, and they were saying how they had transformed their financial situation by not working and not selling, but not selling products and not going off and selling pills and vitamins and lotions and pills and things like that. And that alone, that interests me. So I got excited about it, and I kept looking more and more into the videos. And then I also heard this one person who stood up on the podium. They said, I created financial wealth by doing the same thing that I'm already doing with my current job and situation. And I did not have to recruit a single person. And I said, that is incredible. So, of course, that interests me enough, so I kept going, and I called my guy back, and I said, man, if this is real, I want in, because I was looking for a way to change my financial situation for my family and for myself. See, I'm already in my 40s, so I was already looking for retirement. And I knew that I had taken the wrong track, and everything that I was doing was not leading up to results that I know I needed to have at the time that I was ready to retire. Now, I don't know if that resonates with any one of you that's on this call, but for me, it was a big deal. And if you are not currently looking at this situation of how you're going to create financial wealth for you and your family, and if you're going to continue to work at the time when it's time for you to retire, see, you might be on the wrong track. And you just might be on the right call to help you transform all that information away. So I got started with the opportunity, and I got involved with a company called MyEcon, and from that point, everything just literally started turning around. So here's what I mean. Between the 3 jobs that Chris and I had, we were paying up into the third of our income, which is 28 to 33% of our taxes, because each job was getting hit with taxes. So here's the problem. Many Americans in this country, you guys are facing the same problems that I was facing. Our biggest problem in this country is our taxes. The biggest problem in this country is our taxes. And when we're overpaying our taxes, we're giving too much money away from to the government, and it's not allowing us to keep income in our own pocket. And the second biggest problem in this country that everyone has, including myself, including you, is our debt. Many Americans are in a minimum of $5,000 worth of debt. Now, your number may be different than mine, but what I can tell you is it is very difficult to save money when you're paying down debt. Okay? Our third biggest problem in this country is inflation. Inflation is taking the other third of our income, because if we don't have a vehicle that we're putting our money into a product that's going to increase faster than the rate of inflation, then we're constantly always going to be losing. And I know many of you can understand that, because if we don't take care of those 3 biggest challenges, or taking each of them a third of our income, it is impossible for us to succeed. And you may know someone, including yourself, that's going through the same issue. Maybe it's your friends, maybe it's your neighbors, maybe it's your coworkers. If they are doing that, now you can understand why it's so difficult to get ahead. But MyEcon has the solution. What we show people how to do, number 1, is properly adjust their W-4. The reason why we look at your W-4 is because over 85 million people in this country are overpaying. It is right there on the IRS website themselves. It is saying you may be overpaying in your taxes a minimum of $40. But here's the thing. You say $40, that's not a big deal. But if you $40 times 4, because that's $40 a week, times 4 weeks, that's $160. If you had anywhere between $160 and $200 back into your paycheck tomorrow, you cannot tell me that you cannot find some things that you can pay down. Maybe you might pay down some bills. Maybe you might pay down some debt. Maybe you might start making some investments. Now, we know many people have been incorrectly having their W-4. They've transferred jobs. They have gotten married. They have moved. They have gotten single, divorced, whatever the case may be, and they have never touched their W-4 in upwards of 5, 10, and even 15 years. So when you do that, you're giving away tons of money to the government, which that money could be back into your pocket, and you could be using it to create wealth. See, when you do not look at your financial situation, you are setting yourself up for failure. And we don't want to do that with the people that we work with here in MyEcon and the Cash to Assets Club, because we know you work really hard. If you haven't been setting yourself up for retirement, if you haven't been putting money away, maybe it's because you say, well, Antonio, I would love to do that, but I don't have it. But when we work with you and put that money back into your paycheck, now you can start surviving. Maybe now you can start doing some things that you're going to start looking forward to building some assets. See, once we do that, you join us. Now we're pushing you into the middle income bracket of taxes, which is now you're going to be a 1099. As a 1099, you're going to pay less than a W-4. A W-4 pays the highest in taxes, upwards of 33%. A 1099 pays less, anywhere between 17 and 23%. Ultimately, our goal is to help you become an investor, because an investor is where the money is made. And wealth. See, wealth is not created by your labor. You cannot continue to work your job and think that you're going to become successful. Now, in very small situations, you can do that. If you're making anywhere $200,000 and $300,000 a year, because you're going to be around the right people to put you in position where you can be successful. But if you're not around those people, then how are you going to do it? You have to be connected with a company like ours. You have to be around people that's going in the same direction that you're going in. You have to be willing and to admit that, hey, it's possible that I have not been doing things the right way, and it's time to change. It's time to make a difference. And if that's you that's on this call, I would love to welcome you and give you more information of how you can get started with our opportunity. Now, MyEcon can easily be sold for $499 for our membership. It is that valuable. It can even be sold for $399. But it's not that, but it's not even $299. MyEcon's opportunity is a one-time payment of enrollment of $199.95. And 30 days later, you have a $34.95 membership. To what that's going to give you is our income shifting strategy, our world-class website. You're going to have our financial success membership system. You're going to be part of the Cash to Assets Club program. You're going to have identity theft protection. You're going to have $1 million coverage to protect your identity. It also comes along with free and discounted legal service. See, free and discounted legal service is a value all in itself, where people have lost millions of dollars because they weren't covered and protected. It protects you between traffic laws, violations, lawyer fees. All that type of information is available for you. But we also have Credit Education and Restoration Center. We have a cashback mall for you to get cash back for all your shopping. See, if you don't take a stance and take care of your financial situation and your family, then when are you going to start? If you're not doing that today, when are you going to start? See, I was just reading a report a little bit earlier today. The healthcare system has been changed to where now over 52 million Americans in this country are now going to have to pay more for their health care, and a lot more others will not even have it at all, only because they're financially not equipped to do it. And we don't want anyone in this country, especially in the club, to have to go through things like that. So if you've been invited on this call, I want you to get back to the person that invited you, and I want you to ask them how you can get started. If you have any more questions, please feel free. You guys can always call me, and I can do the best I can to answer any questions for you. See, this is one promise that I know. Look, it did not take us overnight to get into the problem that we were in, and it's not going to take us overnight to get out of it. Now, we know that we are not out of the woods, but we are on the right track. And if you feel the same, I would love to welcome you on board, get back with the person that. So I'm going to keep the call short like I always promise. Again, my name is Antonio Freeman. I'm going to open up the call to answer any questions that you may have, or any guests or any promos that you also would like to have on the call. Stand by.